Hi guys, Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the signs that your love for someone could be unhealthy. Now, I'm going to be sharing all of this through my very own personal experiences. I'm going to be sharing one of my personal experiences, exactly what my unhealthy form of love for someone landed me into. Before I get started with all of that, let us just stick to the word love for a while. Let's talk about love. We as human beings, we naturally do love to have beautiful, genuine connections with other people that might include love. Yeah, and at the same time, we as humans naturally, consciously or subconsciously, we like to receive love. We also like to give love, and that makes us feel fulfilled as humans. Yeah, so we're emotional beings, and a huge aspect of our life is our affectionate side, is what our heart makes us feel. It's the release of the dopamine when you're with somebody. It is the peace you feel when you are with somebody. And I'm not talking about romantic love as many of you might assume. I'm talking about platonic love, love with any human. And I'm not talking about the love for God, because I don't believe that our love for God, once we establish it, can ever, we already have it, but as we keep growing in our love for God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it can never take an unhealthy turn. However, with humans, it can take an unhealthy turn. We all know that humans, we aren't really perfect. We are like that. We're incapable of a lot of the times receiving love in the best way, also giving it in the best way, and that's exactly what we're gonna get into the depth of. But Allah loves us the most, and He's also perfect, and He values each and every one of us. Unlike humans, He takes care of us, and He loves to hear from us. Yeah, humans can neglect you and they can turn a cold shoulder or fail somewhere or the other, but when you establish a beautiful connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which has a lot of love, then that will never take an unhealthy turn, meaning that can never ever come at the risk of your mental or physical health. But with humans, it can sort of be otherwise, as a lot of people that come out of haram relationships or situationships, or people that who have happened to be hurt by the people that they loved in their life, who were family members or like really, really close to them, even friends, their experiences tell us that, and ourselves, we also, like, who are these people? We ourselves, they tell us that not a lot of the times our love for people can be healthy. However, it is one of the most beautiful human experiences, the word love. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few signs and a few conditions under which your love for other humans can be unhealthy. Number one, when the love is one-sided. Nobody should be receiving love from you at the cost of your own mental peace. If you've ever loved someone one-sided, and not just romantic, but anyone in your life, and they haven't seemed to reciprocate the love, then you must think to yourself, was that a pleasurable experience? Because when we think of the word love, when you read the title of this video, when you are now listening to me talking about love, what do you think of it? No, just pause and think of what comes to your mind when you think of the word love, and only love. Maybe your loved ones, yeah, and it's the best answer is God, yeah, and the best one to love is God, subhanallah, for all of us humans. When you talk about love, it is naturally a beautiful experience. It is a beautiful emotion. And at the same time, like I said in one of my previous videos, anything that is beautiful, that is precious, it has to be guarded, and the supply of it has to be cut short. Yeah, so you cannot give it to everyone and anyone, and especially the people that are not ready to reciprocate it. I understand if it is your immediate family members that are not reciprocating your love for them, or that don't seem to love you as much as you love them, it can be a tricky position. But when you have an option of not loving the people, or preserving your beautiful love that you have inside of you, and to give it to the people that actually will reciprocate it and accept it, why do you want to put yourself through the pain of giving it to somebody who does not reciprocate it? That in turn will get you exhausted and will lead you to feeling inferior and feeling like you don't deserve love. There are different circumstances under which your one-sided love could affect you. Maybe the other person doesn't know. When you have like one-sided romantic love for somebody, that person might not know, or they might know, you might for some reason not be able to get along, and just the ignorance part can eat you up. But you need to understand, it's never one-sided love. However, like, these movies glorify one-sided love, serials glorify one-sided love, I need you to understand it is a painful thing. And in this life, you are already going through so many hardships. For you to choose to invest your love into someone who doesn't love you back. So many people, like in front of me, in our first meetings, like broke down in front of me, telling how they love someone and they didn't love, that person doesn't love them back. I'm like, as a third person, when I'm looking at you, like my conversations with some of my friends have been like this, that as a third person, when I'm looking at you, I'm like, how adorable is this person? And now you're giving your adorable, most beautiful aspect of yourself, that is love, to somebody that can't even value it. See, a lot of people prevent it because of haram. But I'm talking about the situations when the other person isn't interested. And I need you to also understand that a lot of the times, the reason you end up loving the people that don't love you a lot, it's because you might have an avoidant attachment style, which is that the people that you might fall deep in love with and you're able to love, they might trigger a trauma in you, or they might have a familiar behavior to someone from your past. Maybe a parent that didn't love you as much, or maybe your siblings, or maybe somebody that was a part of your life very early on in your life, a guardian, a grandparent, right? And you might feel like, okay, that is familiar to me, a form of love that is familiar, one-sided love is familiar, and that is all that is beautiful. But no, you deserve to love and to be loved. When we talk about love, it is always only beautiful when it is two-sided. As much as these movies glorify one-sided love, it can be very mentally disturbing. It doesn't just leave you exhausted, tired, but also it leaves you feeling unwanted, undervalued, like undesired. And at the same time, you are only probably feeding into your past traumas or your past attachment styles of being in love with the people that you didn't choose to love, that didn't love you back or didn't love you as much. It's like chasing something that is not for you, going after someone that is not for you, that does not want you. Your value is clearly, directly determined by the kind of people that you choose. If you choose someone that does not value you, you believe that about yourself, that you are not valued. Because they don't value you, that feels familiar, and you're like, oh, I am home. Yeah? I am not loved by this person. They don't love me as much. They're just so neglectful, so maybe that's my type. But just ask yourself this question. Don't you deserve the same kind of love that you give others? And is love, loving people, and you being loved back as difficult as they make it seem to be? How easily does love come for you? Why is it not so easy for it to be given back to you? Is it that tough of an emotion to be reciprocated? And even if it is, it might be for people. I don't care. Your attitude should be, I don't know why, I don't want to know why, and I don't care about why you don't love me. Like, imagine wanting to know why someone doesn't love you back. You'd want to know why someone is upset with you. You'd want to know why someone might be good with you, but all of a sudden they're, they've just turned their back. I mean, going after such people after a while even does not help, but going after somebody that seems to just not love you is not right. They're simply trying to make you feel, if it is intentional, they're simply trying to make you feel that you're not deserving of love. If it is not intentional, then that is okay. Wish the best for them and leave. And understand that they might not know your value and they cannot see your value, and that is okay. Not everyone will see the beautiful part in you. Listen, you might think that you're an amazing person, but the world might completely think the opposite, and that is okay, because you have lived with yourself for the longest. You know yourself. You are not a byproduct of how much affection or warmth or love you receive from the external source, which is from the people. It's not a big thing. It's not a tough thing to love someone. It's one of the most beautiful, natural human experiences. And if you're not getting it, there's no point of staying and loving someone. Now, when I'm talking about one-sided love, a lot of the times, we're very easy to say that, oh, then my mom might not love me, my dad might not love me because they don't show a lot of emotional affection, or somebody in your life might not really be very good with sort of just expressing love through their words, and you might feel like, oh my God, doesn't this person that I thought loves me love me? Because a lot of the times people's love languages are different. Like for me, I'm that kind of a person that is very expressive through physical, emotional, and verbal expression. But there are a lot of people in my life that don't like to do so. Like my own mother, she is not very good at showing affection, but that does not mean that she doesn't love me. For example, like she shows her love for me by making sure that I'm fed 3 times a day, that she cooks for me, that she cooks amazing dishes that I like for me 3 times a day. She tries to make them really like tasty, and by just making the best of duas for me. Or she's not good with words. She does not express through words how much she loves someone, but she shows more so through the care that she gives to other people. I don't want you guys to sit and think that that one person or family member that you thought actually does love you doesn't love you, because I just said that they might not love you because they might just not really reciprocate what you give to them. But it need not necessarily be exactly what you give to them back. For example, when it comes to loyalty, if it is like a no question for you that loyalty is a must thing, then for sure it should be reciprocated. But if it is something like affection through words, if some people are not very good with it, we cannot expect them to always keep showing physical or verbal affection to us. We might be good at it, but for some people it just does not come as easy to them as it comes to us, because we're all just very different humans. Our ways of expressing love is very different, but that doesn't mean they don't love you. Not loving someone is basically not even reciprocating the very core important values that you have and you share when you are in love with them. They're not even reciprocating that. For example, respect, loyalty, time. Number 2, and this is very important, when your love for them exceeds your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, this is so simple. People talk about husband and wife and use this example. Like take a triangle, right? And the husband and the wife are at the 2 bottom ends of the triangle, and on the top is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So people use this example a lot to metaphorically to compare and to make us understand better the love of husband and wife, and how their love for Allah is connected to their love for each other. So as they keep getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they keep getting closer to each other. Yeah. And subhanallah, that is so beautiful, and that is absolutely true. But I genuinely, a part of me believes that that applies to all the connections of our life, to all the people, all the relationships that we have that involve love. I don't think that that's only confined to your spouse. You can love them as much as you want, but your love for them should not exceed your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning that your time that you give to Allah should not be compromised because of the time that you want to give them. For example, a friend you might really love to spend time with might just contact you once in a while, and they might be like, I'm downstairs and I'd want to come and meet you, but you know you're getting late for prayer, salah, and the time is running out. You choosing to go meet that friend and delaying the salah is a form of your love for them being over love for salah. One of the ways to tackle that, to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than anybody else, is to realize that He's watching us all the time. Besides understanding every verse of the Quran that talks about Allah's love for us, we need to also understand that Allah is there with us all the time. He's watching. Yeah, we need to understand and realize His presence. All that we see right now, it's very easy to get distracted. A person might want your time. It's easier to go to that person. Your nafs pulls you towards that enjoyment, that person, and then but something somewhere in the back of your head might be little minuscule, depends upon your level of iman. It tells you, no, we have to offer salah, no, we said we're gonna read the Quran. Then that person tells you, no, I want your time. You need to prioritize. Now, of course, if that person is in a situation that khuda na khasta, if they're having a battle between life and death or something very crucial, nauzubillah, you have to be there for them. But if it is something that they can have another person for, or you're not really the only one that can do it for them, which shouldn't be the case anyways, then it's better to prioritize your time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to never compromise that. And I also believe that when you love Allah, Allah grants you honor from this world. And at the same time, it's said, right, that when you chase the dunya definitely runs away from you. But when you chase Allah, Allah will grant you honor. And one of the most important symbols and elements of love when it comes to humans is respect. Love without respect feels disgusting, honestly. What is that even? So when you have respect, which Allah grants you, and because He puts barakah in your all worldly relationships, the moment you sort out your relationship with Him, you're gonna find yourself to be in a better place with your loved ones. The purpose is that all of these people in our lives are there for, so that we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because otherwise, what's the point? See, we as humans, we can say something over and over and over again, but we might not really follow that, because words alone aren't enough. So you need to take time to get to know the Quran, to get to know Allah, to get to know your deen, Islam, to spend time with the people, if anything, who will get you closer to Allah. And also spend time in solitude, just doing the zikr of Allah or talking to Allah. Like for example, even writing down in a journal how you feel about your day or something. And when you know that Allah is there and He's reading and watching everything, and when you feel the presence of Allah, then you're gonna know that the journaling that you're doing, it's basically talking to Him. Yeah, He's listening everything, He's reading everything, and that's so beautiful. He's never left us alone. And when you also, it's so easy to get involved in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you understand how much He loves you. While we're at the topic of love, I'm sure you guys may have noticed that you may have felt the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more so in the times of hardship, because that's the shan, that's the mightiness of my Rabbul Alameen, that He's there with us, His presence. See, He's even there with us when we're at a time when we're enjoying. Take a party, yeah, it's maybe like a birthday, when you have a lot of people around you, they're the source of your dopamine for a while, they're giving you importance and stuff. You might be so engrossed in the fun that you're having with them that, astaghfirullah, feeling the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that moment can get a little difficult. How you tackle that is by being grateful to Allah and knowing that everything that is happening, the good moment, is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, more intensely than that, we feel our Allah when everybody leaves us, because that's when Allah tells us to come to Him. He loves to bless us when everyone leaves us. He's there for us when they're not there. It's a simple, natural fact. You know, His love is mightier than anybody else's love for us. And so our love for Him should be more than our love for all the humans. Okay, number 3 is when they are your only love. When you can look at them and say that this is the only person that I love. Trust me, this might sound really amazing, beautiful, glorified, my one and only, everything. But I need you guys to understand that you have to, in the present day world, form connections, not for your personal use or purpose or whatever, but more than one. Okay, your love for one naturally can exceed your love for the other, but that does not mean that you depend only on one person to share such a beautiful emotion of yours with. As much as we love someone, we need to understand that they are not perfect. They can sometimes disappoint us, they can hurt us, and when we only make them the person that we pour all our love into, and when they disappoint us, because now your world only revolved around them, now you'll feel shattered and unworthy of love. Yeah, you'll feel like, okay, this person that I loved so much has now hurt me. I've loved them so much, but they themselves have now irrationalized and hurt my sentiments. So now what you feel, because you naturally poured so much of your energy into them, that you are not deserving of love, and you're exactly deserving of the person that you love the most made you feel. It is rightly said that when a parent stops loving the child does not stop loving the parent, but then the child stops loving itself. Well, that is a matter of fact when it comes to your relationship with your parents. Again, it's not just confined to your relationship with your parents. The same way, if you make only one person your love, romantic or platonic, and when that person hurts you or fails to love you, reciprocate your love, you might not stop loving that person, but you might stop loving yourself. You might doubt your love when it isn't to be doubted. It isn't something to be questioned. When they hurt you and you have another person that you love, you can go to this other person, not to vent out how you feel or backbite or whatever, but you can just sit with them and again experience and share love and affection with them. So that keeps you still in touch with the feeling of love and does not make you hate the feeling of love. Because when your entire world is confined to loving one person, whatever turn the relationship of yours with that person takes, trust me, mark my words, the same direction your relationship with the word love will head to. You might start hating the word love because of your messed up relationship with the only person you loved. So make sure it's not only one person. Nobody is the only one. Come on, we're all filled up with flaws. When you realize that, it becomes easier to love people, because then you're accepting of love of people, and when you're accepting, it's easier to love people, and at the same time you have taken them off of the pedestal. So now you don't just love one person, but it's like it can be more than one person. Number 4, a person that is abusive or is hurtful to you. Now that is directly in sync or in touch with there being an issue in you. If the abuse has repeated itself, or the hurt that they may have shown to you, or even abuse can be neglect, complete and utter neglect, not making you feel worthy of even their attention. If that stage has been reached and it's been repeated again and again and again, it's better to detach and stop loving that person. And one of the ways to stop loving someone is to humanizing them. And I kid you not, I put so many people on the pedestals, and these people that I thought that I loved the most, because I thought they were my one and only ones and they were the best humans to have ever existed, when I took them off of the pedestal, loving them was easier, and accepting them hurting me was easier. Now, hear me out. Accepting them abusing you isn't okay, but accepting the fact that they hurt you, it is healthy. You know, when you get in denial, oh, this is so funny, because when someone hurts you or someone abuses you with a swear word, and they say, no, I'm so sorry, that came out of my mouth, but I love you, and that happens again, they're simply manipulating you. Okay, they're telling you they love you, but they don't. Your definition of love is what I doubt now. If you tell me that you're accepting of abuse or hurt as love, let us please not contaminate love. It's beautiful by trying to justify and say that no, that person is abusive and all, but then they love me. Emotionally neglectful doesn't satisfy me, doesn't make me happy, doesn't make me content, does not reciprocate my feelings, does not reciprocate my actions. If anything, they hurt me, they insult me, but they love me, they tell me they love me, they love me. Please stop lying to yourself. You're trying to convince yourself more than anybody else at this point that they love you. But if there's somebody that you may have loved for years, it's not easy to get rid of them within a matter of a day or something. But to gradually keep drawing your healthy boundaries and to keep humanizing them, which is also paying attention to their mistakes for a while, close attention, so that helps you humanize them, will make you put them off of the pedestal, will make you humanize them. Next up, when you love someone at the cost of your own mental and physical well-being. Now, this is such an important topic to me, because I am someone that has always loved people at the cost of my own mental and physical well-being. I've always been like that. I've always wanted to save the people in my life. I always wanted to sort of protect and save the people in my life. And I also feel like I overgive and overlove with the people that I do invest my emotions in. And at the same time, that can surely happen at the cost of my own mental and physical well-being, because chances are that when you love someone so much, it definitely sometimes does take a toll on your own well-being. Now, I want to share my personal little short story with you guys. So someone in my family member that I loved in an unhealthy manner, I still love them, but not in an unhealthy manner. That person basically a few years back got into a health issue. They got like an anxiety attack, and they were shifted to the hospital. Of course, I was so concerned, so worried about them. I was crying the entire time. I just wanted that person to be okay. And mind you, this was before my relationship with Allah was firm itself, when I was not very strong in my tawakkul. We were in the hospital, thousands of thoughts were coming into my head, the wrong ones. But alhamdulillah, the discharge happened and we got back home. And I was sitting on the prayer mat after we got back home, and I remember this one particular salah wherein I asked in one of the du'as to my Allah that, Ya Allah, because I was so concerned about her and I wanted her to be alright so bad, that I prayed to Allah that, Ya Allah, whatever she's going through, please put it on to me. The pain, yeah, exactly. Because she has more responsibilities, more obligations towards the world. She has more people to be there for and take care of than I have. Of what I see, she has a better purpose than I do. Astaghfirullah. Now, as much as I loved her, I still do, and I still want her well-being always. I would never make that dua now, because you know what happened after that? That naturally upset Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah answered that dua of mine. And you know what He did? I was still praying that, may I live this world before her, things like that. It's like everybody has a timing to live for, I can't say I want to leave before this person or that person or whatever health issue I wanted to come to me. What the hell, now that I look back at it. Yeah, but I was praying those kind of things, and alhamdulillah, Allah is so merciful. I'm sure Allah got angry at the fact that He made me with equal love as much as He made that person. I am His amana. Yeah, this body that I have is the amana that He has given to my soul. It is a gift and a blessing that He has given to my soul. He sent me into this world, but He's never told me that you have a lesser purpose, you have a lesser use or value in this life as compared to that person. And after that, a few months later, for 6 months straight, I started getting health issues that I don't want to get into the depth of. Turned out it was an issue that's not very serious. Of course it is serious. It was very concerning. The body pains were a lot. But I literally visited like so many hospitals in search of just diagnosing that, because it was a very painful procedure. But alhamdulillah, it wasn't a big thing, as big as I thought it to be, because I thought I'd not make it out of this. Alhamdulillah, but I did, alhamdulillah. While I was going through it, while I was getting those thoughts that will I be able to make it out of the situation anymore or not, when I was thinking of the term death, I was getting terrified. And of course, every soul shall taste death, and it is indeed terrifying. But I understood how I wasn't ready, and Allah Ta'ala, through that, because He knows exactly what one deserves at what point in time, exactly through that, He made me understand the importance of making use of the time that He's bestowed upon us. Up until then, I didn't realize the importance of the blessings that He bestowed upon me. Yeah, I didn't realize that He loves me and He has a purpose for me. Because I was just honestly so engrossed in my unhealthy love for that person that I didn't even care about my own well-being. But then Allah put me through a situation that when push comes to shove, let's see what you do now, Khairun Nisa. And honestly, I wasn't very strong with it. I was overthinking, I was doubtful, I was afraid. And that fear of I don't think I'm ready for the death. I don't think I'm ready for my afterlife. I don't think I'm ready for my life in grave. Made me understand the value of this life. Made me understand how important it is also to do what I want to do. See, there are a lot of people that criticize me on social media, but I don't care one bit. You know why? Because I had an experience that was nearly, in my imagination, close to death. I actually thought I wasn't going to make it. But I did. And that is why I don't want to risk even 1 second of my time, 1 second of my life doing what my highest self would be doing, but then my own limits wouldn't allow me to do. But through that I came out of it, but I realized that more, but nobody was there to pray that it will come to me. And it shouldn't be that. Oh my goodness, how? It should never be that. You should never want to trade your pain with anyone. You need to understand we all belong to Allah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From Him we have come and to Him we shall return. So if that is the case, stop taking the responsibility of others' lives on your shoulders. It is indeed a very burdening feeling. Instead, just try living your life and living to your full purpose. And stop taking others' lives into your hands. The one person that you need to take care of is yourself. And then people. You cannot pray something like that. Even in your imaginary world, for me it was just a dua. Your love for someone shouldn't ever come with the baggage of emotional or mental or physical illness. Love is a beautiful experience, a beautiful feeling. And for the most part, it has to be enjoyed. Does it not have its ups and downs? For sure. Do the people that we love, do we want to lose them? Did I have a fear of losing that person? For sure. Will it hurt you and upset you if they do leave you? For sure. But should you go above and beyond your ways doing things like these? Curse yourself because you want their well-being? Want harm for yourself because you want their well-being? Because you want to take on their pain? Should you do that? Never. And this is coming from someone that has done that. This is coming from someone that has loved people in an unhealthy manner. We all belong to Allah before we are anything to each other. I am Allah's servant before I am anyone to anyone in this world. So He will test me, but He will also not burden me beyond I can bear, as He Himself has said in the Quran. So neither should others be too concerned for me, nor should I be too concerned for others to a point that I want to take control or load of their issues and their tests. I can pray for them, but that's all there is. I have my own things, I have my own azmaish, I have my own tests. And even when I'm going through a test, or when another person in my life that I might love so much with all my heart might be going through a test, to go against myself to be there for them is a self-sabotage. And it is also being unfair on another creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is myself. Just because you know that they're beloved to Allah does not mean you're not beloved to Him. You're equally beloved to Him, if anything, as much as they are. Take care of yourself also. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is coming right out of the heart, guys. Be there for yourself. And loving yourself, I don't know who said this to you, should not come with self-sacrifice. That is it for this video. Guys, if you like this video, do hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Inshallah, I'll meet you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, keep me in your prayers, guys, and I will keep you in mind. Allah Hafiz, fi aman Allah.